Hey FlossTube, it's Jules. July 20th. It's a beautiful day. It's a bit of a hot day, but that's okay because the weekend's coming. I have the weekend off, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be like in the 70s. It might rain. We've had a few days lately where it's been like that, so it's been good. It's not been too hot. I love it. Getting closer to fall every single day, and that's my favorite month. It's my favorite season, so I'm happy about that. Now I have to apologize because in my last video I did not show you guys a t-shirt, and even though I don't have any new cross-stitching t-shirts, I feel like I should still show you a cross-stitching t-shirt with every video. So I'm going to put it in the beginning of this video so that I don't forget it at the end. So this is my favorite cross-stitch shirt. The best days are spent cross-stitching, and that's how I plan to spend most of the rest of the day today. We'll get to that later. Let's see. What shall we talk about? You know, I had a, I was watching, I can't remember exactly who it was last night, but I was watching another FlossTuber, and they were describing how difficult their uploading process was and how long it takes them. Like if they do like a 30 to 45 minute video or something, it's taking them multiple hours. And all I can say is that it's not that difficult for me. I feel a little guilty about that now because it seems like a lot of people have that problem. But when my husband moved in, after we got married, my husband moved in, we basically decided that we wanted really good internet. So our upload speed is really awesome. And so when I do like a 20-minute video or something like that, it takes maybe a half an hour to upload it, and usually I just upload it from my phone. I have a Nexus 6P, I think, and I upload it directly to the YouTube site, and from there I go down on my computer and I do whatever I need to do to it. But it doesn't take me very long. It takes me far longer to actually shoot it because, once again, this is my second go around with this video, and it's because I was at the end and I realized I'd forgotten some things, and I did not want to edit them in at the end because I just can't trust that I'm going to be able to do that. Primarily it's because am I going to have the patience to do that. So anyway, that's how I do my videos. It's not that hard. That's why I do everything in one take, because I don't want to edit it. When I'm finished with my video, I gotta get on with my day. I got cleaning. More importantly, I've got stitching to do. So I don't want to spend my time actually editing. So now this is pretty awesome. I had so many new commenters and new subscribers after that last video, and someone commented that it took them a while to realize that these pictures that are above my head are not pictures but actually cross-stitch projects. And that indeed they are. Just to review, it's my Westminster Abbey. That's my New York City 1919. And then this is Ronnie Row something. It's pen and ink design that you can find on his site. And it was funny to me because I love that. I love when people look at these things and they're like, I can't believe those are cross-stitch. And I just absolutely adore them. I love them. And speaking of which, I'm pulling out my other finished Ronnie Row. Well, but it's not fully finished. I still have to make sure I actually show this to you guys right side up this time. This is Music Teacher's House. This was one of the first cross stitches that I ever did many years ago that I finished this. And so I want to get this framed and put this up here, and I've got a third Ronnie Row that I'm working on that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later in the whip section. But I plan on basically doing something similar to this, but I'm going to choose a different matting, different color matting, and then I don't know if I'll put them by each other or space them out or what I'll do, but I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I just want to mention, in case you didn't know, these are my cross stitches. That's why they're up there. All right. This past week has been awesome in terms of the cross-stitching motivation, what I got done, the plans I made, the things that I bought, and it's been a really good week for that. And I've got my mojo back, and the break that I had was good. Played some games, you know, got my mind clear, but now I'm back into the stitching and I'm super excited. And one of the things that I came upon as far as an idea was my husband and I went to dinner the other night, and then after dinner we walked down the little strip mall, and they had a Hobbytown USA store in there. And you just don't find Hobbytown USAs anymore. They're so rare to see them. But this was a newer store, and it had opened up a few months ago, and I'd yet to go in it. And when I went in it, I'm looking around, and they have a jigsaw puzzle section. So of course I go to the jigsaw puzzle section because I love to do jigsaw puzzles. Sidebar. I'm going to just take a quick sidebar. I've been meaning to tell you guys about this for quite a while, but when I'm not cross-stitching at night, when I maybe like want a break, one of the things that I actually do is I do jigsaw puzzles on the computer. And I didn't know if you guys knew that you could do that. You probably do know that. I mean, if you're tech savvy, you probably have seen that. But I have a program on my computer. It's kind of a gaming program, but it literally has like all these different jigsaw puzzles. And when I first started doing it, I wasn't sure if I really would get into it as much as I get into actually doing like physical jigsaw puzzles, but I actually do. And I have puzzles on there that are like 600, 800, 1,000 pieces. And yes, it is hard to see everything, but I really, really enjoy that. So when I'm not doing this, I'm doing that. Speaking of which, so we were in the Hobbytown store, and I came across this little ditty. And yes, the price is going to be on it, but I don't care. Abraham Lincoln, a 750-piece puzzle, and I'm going to just, you see this is him reviewing the troops during the Civil War, a young picture of him, Lincoln Memorial, and then his official White House portrait up here. So the reason why I went nuts over this, and the reason why I'm talking about this, is because you guys remember, let me find it here. Last week I showed you a new pattern that I got that I was super excited about. 282 words from Primrose, 272 words, sorry, I'm putting words in Lincoln's mouth. Primrose Needleworks, Gettysburg Address. And I have that, and I also have Erica Michael's design, Charity for All, which is a portion of his second inaugural dress, Lincoln's. And I'm like, what if I do this stitch, that stitch, the puzzle, and I create a little special section on my wall. Not up here. It's not going to go up here. It's going to go on another wall somewhere. And have my little Lincoln section. Because I love Lincoln. He's my favorite president. And since I have all this stuff, and I love his stuff, I think I'm going to do that. Now, one downside of when I was going through all this week, because I was like, that's great, let me start on Erica Michaels, let me just go ahead and get going. I realized that I didn't have the full pattern. Many videos ago when I was talking about this, I was saying about how I didn't have the pattern at all, and then I found the pattern and I was so excited, and then I didn't check out the pattern, and I only had like 2 of 6 pages, or however many pages it is. I only have like a third of the pattern. I was all bummed because I was so ready to get started on this thing, and I have it kitted out. I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna have to buy the pattern over again, because I seriously doubt that they'll just send me the actual thing. Although it's pretty funny, the address on this is in Clarksville, Tennessee, and we're actually going to be going by there in like a month when we go to see my family in southwestern Kentucky. We're going to fly into Nashville. We go right past Clarksville. I wonder if they have a store there. I wonder if they do. I just realized that. I got to make a note for myself about that. But anyway, so it's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now, or get this pattern again. Now, the really funny thing is, I'm trying to actually find this pattern again, and it must be out of print, because you can't find it on her website. You can't find it on other websites. The only place that I found it was on a UK site that somebody directed me to on a comment. Bless you, whoever you are, because I'll tell you in a few minutes why. But so I found it, and I found something else that I really want to stitch. So I'm going to order those things today, and I'm sure it'll probably take at least 2 or 3 weeks minimum for it to get over here. That's okay. That's okay. It's worth the wait. I want it. We'll get it. We're good to go. So anyway, Lincoln section is going to start to get worked on, and I'm super, super excited about that. But it's time for whips. I got to show you guys what I've been doing this week because I've been so excited to show you. First thing I'm going to show you is, so I showed you this is my FFO Ronnie Row, and then the UFO, the unfinished object. That was the other one. And then this was supposed to be my travel piece. We talked about this before, or I talked about this to you before, about I have another Ronnie Row that is my third in a series. And right now, this is the final one that I want to do from Ronnie Row. There are other ones that are on his site. These are called pen and ink designs, and there are other pen and ink designs out there, but there isn't anything else that fits this particular style and the ones that I have. And but then I had a brainwave. Another sidebar here. I'm so sorry about this, but I think that Ronnie Row should do a pen and ink designs of all the Washington D.C. monuments. He's done one for the Capitol. He should do one for the White House, and that's fine. But what I really want to see is of course, I want to see the Lincoln Memorial. I'd love to see the Jefferson Memorial. I'd love to see just all the different monuments that are there. I'd love to see Mount Rushmore. You know, just there's so many other things that he could potentially do. I'm going to write him an email. I'm going to write him an email, or I'm going to try to write him an email. I'm going to go on the website, try to do a contact, and shoot that out to him, and maybe I'll get that. Because if they do it, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to stitch it. I swear, I will. I will. So, but the reason why I wanted to show you this today, well, it's my whip, but I finally started gridding this project. And if I had only gridded these designs back in the past, because I only started gridding this year, if I had started gridding, I would have gotten these done so much faster, because honestly, I made some serious progress this week. I'm going to show you where I gridded. So I just did the next chunk basically. And this is only a 4-page design. So like this is one page, and then this is the other page, and then there's 2 more pages on here. But look how much I got done this week. And this was just like one night of stitching. So I got several squares done. And this is so much faster doing the gridding. And so I'm going to get that done. I'm going to get that done. I'm telling you guys, you're going to see some progress on that every single week. I'm going to go crazy on that. But, yeah, I need to make a note for myself that I got to email Ronnie Row. Of course, I can't find the pen. All right. I'm gonna email Ronnie Row, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. I'll make a comment down below or something like that. But, so that was that one. Also, I got a lot of comments about the Stormtrooper piece that I showed you guys, the picture of the Stormtrooper piece. And so people were saying about how much they loved it, where could they get it and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I better be the first person to stitch that since I was talking about that for so long. So I started on it. I didn't get very far, as you can see. Yeah, I think that's it. So there's a bunch of white down here, but this square is mostly done. But that's all I did this past week. But I started. So that was good. So I got progress done on that. I also got progress done on Rainy Waterloo Place. And let me unfold this here. So let me show you the whole thing. Alright, so that's the whole thing. And then what I got done this week was most of this section right here. So made some good progress, honestly. Made some good progress. Probably 200 or 300 stitches at least on that one this week. But the major progress was done on Yoda. And so I am getting there, guys. I'm finally going to get there. So we got Yoda. And you can see, you know, do or do not, there is no try. Last week, man, I got to get some kind of display thing for this. Last week I was only like at there is. And I'm like, man, no try, better be big. And there's the N. And then there's the T. And then I got this little section down here. This is the bottom of the pattern. So I literally just have like this much left. So it's a lot of grinding because it's a lot of the same color over and over and over again, but it's gonna get done. I mean, I'm just gonna keep working on it. It's gonna get done. All right. So I think that's it for my whips. I did not do anything on Old World Map, but I'll come to that down the road here. What did I get? Now this is the section that, you guys know how I like to do projects for people. I've shown you other projects before. I showed you the project that I did for my friend that was the Darth Vader one. I showed you the A Good Marriage for my in-laws, and now I'm going to show you the project I'm doing for my mom. My mom is all excited about this. I actually checked with her before I made this video, and I said, is it all right? I got a new stitching project for you that I'd like to do, but I'd like to talk about it on my videos so that everybody can see the progress. And I think she would actually enjoy it as well, to see me talk about it as I do it and that kind of thing. And she was super excited about it. So I got it all kitted up here. Got my own little kit. I got it when I was at the stitching shop last week, or a couple weeks ago, on July 4th. And I didn't talk about it last week because I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it. I didn't want to bring it up, have her watch the video, and be like, what? I'm all surprised. I got a new thing? Anyway, it's another Lizzie Kate. And what it is it's number 178, the Prayer of St. Francis. And I got a lot of glare on it. I'm going to read it to you guys, don't worry, but I just want to show you what it looks like. I love the way it looks. But what it is Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. I love it. I thought of my mom when I saw this. And the other amazing thing was, Mark's my husband. My husband and I were in St. Augustine recently, and they had a statue, or it was a statue, or it was something that they brought up, St. Francis, and they were talking about, he's the patron saint of animals, lost souls, things all like that. I love St. Francis, maybe my favorite saint, to be perfectly honest. And then we had just seen this, so Mama, I'm stitching this for you. And I already got all my stuff. I'm going to use, what am I using? I'm using my Weeks Dye Works threads, just like I always do for my Lizzie Kate. And I picked up some 32 count lamb's wool linen for this piece. And I think it's going to look awesome. I think it's going to look absolutely awesome. Super excited. Definitely want to start that this week too. So, but I didn't want to start it before I showed it. So now that I've shown it, I'm going to start it. Alrighty, so I got that one done. So let's go back a few minutes here. And when I was telling you about how I found that website, that UK website that talked about, that was where I was going to get my project for Lincoln, the Erica Michaels piece. So I'm going to get that from that UK website. And I spent a lot of time on that website looking at a lot of different things. Like I said, there's another project on there that I want to get. And when I get it, I'll show you. But it started me on one night I just didn't feel like stitching, and I just started Googling and looking, and just all these different places, all these different cross stitch sites. I was suddenly finding sites that I'd never heard of before, and I apologize because I can't remember where they are right now, except for one. I found a site or a group that has a store on Etsy, and then I realized they also had a website. And I spent probably like 2 hours studying everything that they had on their site. And I went ahead and bought a couple things. I waited like a full day to buy it because I will say, well, let me just tell you who it is. It's called Gecko Rouge. They're out of the UK. They're out of London or England. I don't want to, somewhere in England. And they are very, very different from just about any other site that I've been on. A lot of these things are like cross-stitch collectibles and, Ronnie Row's site and whatnot. And a lot of things that I do are, vintage pieces and things like that. But what this store is it's more eclectic, it's more modern, it's very colorful. There are so many things to look at, and I am super impressed with it. Now, the one downside is that, on one hand, basically, they kit everything up for you except, well, no, actually they do. They do the fabric as well. They will, when you buy the pattern, you're buying the kit. You can't buy just the pattern. So you get to choose between 3 or 4 different types of fabric, and of course I'm always going to choose 14 count Aida because that's just my fabric of choice. It's just the one that feels the best, looks the best in my eyes, like when I'm trying to stitch fast, that's how I do it. But you can go all the way up to, I want to say 25 count. And they put all your threads in, and I think they order them directly from DMC, or the company that makes the threads now for DMC in France. So you're getting like the highest, the newest, the best looking DMC thread, and the pattern and all this other stuff. So it's expensive. I mean, when you go on there, like, I don't think you can find a kit for less than like $50 or $60 unless it's a really, really small one. So be prepared for that. It is expensive. That being said, I think that when you're talking about cross-stitch designers that clearly have put a lot into their designs, that have unique work, that have a lot of work, and that clearly are making this a full-time proposition, I don't have any problems paying more for that experience and for that effort and for that skill. I know it's going to take me quite a while to do these patterns that I got, and they're also gifts. So I got one as a gift for a friend of mine that loves dachshunds, and when I get it, it's going to be so cool. I love it. And then I got another one for a friend of mine, or 2 friends of mine that are married, and I'll show it to you, and I'll explain the story of why I got it when I saw it, when I get it. And it'll be a month. It'll be a full month before they come in. But I was so excited the other night. I was actually laying in bed when I finally found those particular patterns, and my husband was asleep, and I almost woke him up because I was so excited, and I just jumped the gun and just went ahead and bought it. And I was so I'm just so excited to get them and see what they're really all about and start stitching them, because it's easily the most color that I will have ever done. And even like that's not a lot of color, and I'm doing Old World Map too, and that's a lot of color, but this is really a lot of bright colors. So Gecko Rouge UK, Gecko Rouge has a site on Etsy, and it's spelled Gecko Rouge. So check them out because they have some really awesome stuff. Like I said, it is pricey, but I think it's something that if you like it, you're gonna be working on it for a really long time. So it's and I don't think it's really honestly that much more expensive when you talk about getting the fabric already done for you, having somebody get all the floss that you're gonna need plus extra. They said they would send extra. It's coming from the UK. I mean, that includes shipping and everything. So so I think it's a pretty good deal. But I am so super excited to get those. But I'm super excited to basically continue stitching because I got to get some stuff done so I can make room for these new projects in my rotation. So plans for this week. Yoda, big push on Yoda, big push on the other Ronnie Row. Gonna go upstairs and work on Old World Map 2 today as well. Gonna get some progress done on that. You guys haven't seen that, nothing being done on that for a while. Gonna start on my St. Francis. Basically, I'm just gonna do everything. I'm gonna stitch all the things. We always know we're gonna stitch all the things. So, but I've got a lot to do, and I am excited to get going. This is already long enough video as it is. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get going. So have a great stitchy week. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the end of the summer. End of the summer. Fall's coming. Yeah. Alright, we got a sidebar here at the end. If you guys just don't want to hear about this, just end the video now. But I don't watch Game of Thrones. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I have had no interest in watching Game of Thrones. What little I've ever seen, it's like, ooh, that's very violent. Ooh, I don't like violence. I don't like to watch that and whatnot. My husband is a gigantic fan, and we've been together for 2.5 years, and he's always talked about how awesome it is, how great it is. He read all the books, like, super fast. He's watched all the series. He just devours it. And I was just like, yeah, not interested. Not interested. And then the other night, so I'm sitting at the computer Sunday night when the premiere of the latest season comes on, and he's been talking about it for days and days and days. And he's sitting behind me looking at the TV, and I'm down here on the computer working on my little jigsaw puzzles, and I kind kind of move I have headphones on because I'm listening to something else while I'm doing jigsaw puzzles. And I end up, by the end of the episode, I've got like my headphones half off. I keep turning around to look at what's going on. And I'm like, this is actually kind of good. And then I'm like, all right, you got to tell me who everybody is. Who's this person? Who's that person? What's going on here? What's going on there? And by the time he's like, well, I can't get into all of it because it's just so detailed, but he explained the basics to me. And I was like, oh, man, I don't need another obsession. But I'm in. I went ahead and I went on our library's website and reserved a copy of the book, copy of the audiobook, because I'd rather listen to the audiobook in Stitch, but I know that there may be times where I'm going to need to read a little bit here and there just in case I don't get all the details from the audiobook because maybe I can't understand a name or something. So that's upcoming. I just want to throw that in because I'm probably going to talk about it in the next video, hopefully if I get the book. But it cannot take time away from stitching. That is the most important thing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Gotta go upstairs, gotta go start stitching. Happy stitching. You guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.